F you, TVNZ. F are you. You know what? Fine. I can share the audio, but I can't share the screen. So you'll just have to listen to why Luxon is a twat. Control F5? Yeah. No, I'm not listening to that one, sorry. I can't remember what the shortcuts are, but no, we're not doing that. Alright, you guys can listen to it. Essentially, he's been called out because he said something that is potentially, if not is, illegal.
For this government. Earlier this week, the Prime Minister had this to say.
What we've been working hard on is to smash up the gangs. You know, they're 1/4% of the population, driving 25% of our violent crime. But we've got to keep smashing them up.
A little ironic then that our tough on crime Prime Minister is now accused of breaking the law himself.
I heard the Prime Minister say of gangs that we were going to keep smashing them up. And to me, that was actually a criminal offence.
People can be fined $1,000 for using threatening language in a public place.
I mean, $1,000 is nothing to him, but that's not the point.
Also, what is threatening language? That feels like, what's the parameters on threatening language?
I don't know. I would love to see how it probably doesn't go anywhere, and there's probably 100 things that politicians have said that probably fall within this, but nonetheless, someone's doing something about it.
Like, isn't him saying I'm gonna give them the bash? That could be considered, yeah. But
smashing also, the gangs.
Oh, smash you up, Al. Like, what the fuck, man? Really? That's your answer?
Yeah, it is a weird thing coming out of his mouth. Gonna smash the gangs.
Yeah, right. Trying to sound like he's a local, even though we know he ain't.
Okay. Carry on. What has he got to say for himself, ye lawyer?
In a public place.
You're not allowed to make threatening statements against other New Zealanders in public where you're reckless as to whether or not other people might be alarmed or not. Just imagine, for instance, if he had said, we're going to keep smashing up women, or we're going to keep smashing up the disabled.
People would find that highly offensive,
yes,
wouldn't they?
It's no different for people who are part of gangs.
Do you think, though, this is a little bit different, given that there's gangs who cause a lot of harm in our community?
No, I don't, because if gang members do cause harm in the community, they can be prosecuted for what they do.
Chris Nichols wrote to the Prime.
It is a very good point about privilege. Yeah, there's white collar crime. You know, being the Prime Minister and saying things that break the law. And it's even in its purest definition, and whatever, it goes to court and then you can decide. But the fact that it's just like a throwaway like thing, and but gang members get pulled over for anything suspicious, suspicious looking car, a suspicious thing in your window, like.
Well, how are they suspicious? They were like a brown person driving a car suspicious?
Yeah.
Or like...
Yeah.
I mean, I've literally seen it with my own eyes walking through town. I have seen police officers watch a person to see what they're up to when they were literally just minding their own fucking business. But you know what made them different? They had fucking moko. That was the only difference. And we can see that they're going to do their shit. Like, this is why it's so frustrating. Because, like, I mean, I went to Tamitha Paul's Tough on Crime discussion on Monday. And, like, it was insane that, like, it was the first time I'd seen a space where people were actively talking about how we could actually combat crime. Not just saying, oh, let's just punish them harder. Like, that's not going to do any help. Like, at the moment, they said 30% of those who leave prison within 12 months reoffend. By the time it hits 2 years, 50%. Also, I wonder why gang numbers are going up. Maybe it's because people can't afford to live at the moment, because the gangs are offering them a form of not only employment, but community and support. Like, it's no wonder. Plus, also, we only just started doing the numbers on gangs as well, so there's also that. Like, it's just, It's just them doing what they always do. Like, one of the things they talked about at that discussion on Monday was that fear wins votes. Fear is what campaigns really strong. But what they're doing is really just kind of making it seem like there's a bigger issue than there really is as well, because they're like, oh, you should be scared when you leave your house and all of these things. And it's like, most normal people live their everyday life, and maybe only every now and then, they might go through a part of town that's got something going on that makes them feel a little unsafe. But generally, most people feel pretty safe. Yes, there is crime, but most of it's because people are starving. They're trying to feed themselves. They have, cigarettes have been a huge driver of crime, with all of the changes to the tax on them, just making it harder and harder. And yet there's just never any actual discussions about why are we continuing a system that is showing us it doesn't work. It's not doing anything other than making people better criminals and actually ensuring that we have these criminals for life rather than actually breaking that cycle. Also, I learned a really crazy fact. I think it's 80% of people who are in prison have a traumatic brain injury.
Oh, that's high.
There's also obviously a really high percentage of prison populations across the world that are made up of people with ADHD. And yeah, there are so many.
It's also something like half the population in prison, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I think if you actually
or
make
undiagnosed,
or yeah, because also if you go into the extended neurodiverse, because also there's a lot of autistic and other neurodiverse people also included under there, because guess what? When you don't get medicated or diagnosed, sometimes you do really dumb shit, and then you keep doing dumb shit, and you're on that path now, and you don't know how to get the fuck off. It's just frustrating to see all this grandstanding of we're doing something, we're trying to help, we're going to be tough on these, horrible people that do crime. Most of the people who do crime at the heart of it aren't horrible people. They're people who have gone through a bunch of circumstances, whether it be when they're younger. Most of it's when they're younger as well. Most of these things, they start young because they don't actually get the help or the compassion that they need when they're young. They just get basically villainized. I'm sure we all saw someone in our class, or were the poor person in our classrooms as children, who got labeled the naughty kid. And then when you get that label, that changes the entire way people perceive you. When you label these people as bad, horrible humans, it's dehumanizing them and taking away the fact that, yeah, sure, they didn't do a good thing, but maybe we should actually look at the cause of why these people are committing crime. Most of the time, there is a really good reason that they've gotten down this path. And with a little bit of just compassion and empathy to actually help these people get out of whatever they're going through, we're only going to continue to see this cycle repeat and repeat, especially when they're trying to make money off of prisons.
While we're on the topic, because I mentioned him earlier, there is a awesome video on the channel called "Why Do People Join Gangs? A History Lesson from Professor Harry Tam," who goes pretty much into this detail about the pipeline, why people join, what gangs mean to them. Yeah, it's fascinating stuff. It for some of us, it's kind of like, oh yeah, that makes sense, and for other people, it might be quite eye-opening as to give you a bit of a sense of the people behind gangs, because they are people at the end of the day. They may do bad things, but people who are criminals and do bad things are still people, and there are ways of managing their behaviors, past and present, that are still humane. Instead of shoving them in a cell and then one day releasing them because that's the law, and then they end up just recycling back into prison. So But yeah, go and watch that. I highly recommend it.
I also think the way that we even label them as gangs, like what makes the mongrel mob really fundamentally different from any other horrible fucking
Like the
chain
TPU.
itself. Yeah, oh wow.
In Atlas.
Or even just like the horrible
The H Party.
pharmaceutical fucking industry that try to get you hooked on narcotics so that you will continue to buy their products. Like the way that we villainize one versus the other is like insane. Like they are, just because they're in a gang doesn't mean their thing. It's also that that's their community. Like we need to really, like, at the core of it, it's just like these people have a need for community, for connection, for purpose, and for also obviously, means of survival. And if a gang can provide that, but our government can't, what is that saying about the country? If a gang can provide more for someone, then our own local central government can. Like that is fucking absolutely cooked.
Yeah.
We also actually have the highest imprisonment in the OECD. There's another really fun fact that I learned. I'm looking at I got a BHN notebook I have now, so I took notes. But yeah, it's absolutely insane. We have 220 people per 100,000 that are in the prison system. And just and also since the 1980s, Maori have made up 50% of the total prison population. Since the 1980s.
Yeah. And that's a stat that's common with Indigenous populations, right? It's not uncommon that Indigenous populations around the world in different countries have quite a high.
It's almost like it's by design.
Imprisonment rate. Yeah.
Funny that. It's almost like the system's working how it was designed to. So we should burn it fucking down. Sorry, Chloe was saying that at the thing last night that I went to. So now I'm just all hyped up because she said burn down the system. And I'm like, yay! If Chloe said we can do it.
She was so fantastic at I assume it was very much the same as what I and Chewie and Pat got. But yeah, she's on a roll, and it's.
Fuck yeah.
I definitely came away to the two events that I went to, the Greens events, feeling re-energized, because it can be quite. I mean, obviously, it's one thing being a viewer, but I don't know how Pat and Chewie do it, but every night you get on and there's just nothing good or positive to celebrate. And even if it is, it's like a little tiny hair on the giant mountain, and it just gets swallowed up by a barrage of shit. Like it's depressing, man. And like I'd love to be on here and be like, hey, did you see what the government did? They did this. This is so exciting, finally.
Look, good. I even burn down the system. Also, one thing though that I really took from this, and this was when Chloe said, we need to turn the fuck up. And when she said that, she meant like, we go into these spaces, like we go to green events, we get really fucking pumped up. But then that energy doesn't actually get actualized into action. And that is one thing that I agree with, is that as a left side, we need to organize more, and we need to actually put our money where our mouth is. And it doesn't have to be money. It can be time. It can, like she was saying, if you can bake biscuits, there is a space for every person in whatever capacity they have to actually help us do more, because we all know that this has to be a one-term government. And if it's not, I fucking swear to God, I don't know how we're going to survive. So we definitely have to start not just turning up, getting into it. Like, it's great that we've got our community here, but we need to make sure that these communities are also going out there and making sure that we're actually doing stuff, because it's great to vent and to plan all these things that we think are great ideas, but we need to start putting them into action. Someone that I met yesterday who watched the show, they were saying that they used to run these things where they would basically have little picnics in parking spaces here in Wellington. and little parklets. And sometimes people would like kind of come across and go, "Oh, what are you guys up to? What are you up to?" And we're like, "Oh, maybe
We're
for
burning down the system.
well, we're like maybe for local body
Here's
elections."
our guillotine.
Yeah, well, like maybe for local body elections, we could do stuff like that. You know, there are things that I think as a BHN whānau that we should start doing. We should start organizing in our own communities, different things that we can do just to spread the word and actually start working on this. Because, like, we've been saying that the Greens and Labour need to start their election stuff now. Well, I think we also need to start helping them now. Because, like also Chloe was saying last night, is that there is only so much that the Green Party members can do, and they are putting their whole pussy into that. Like they got it on lock. So, and honestly, we're getting way more than our money's worth out of between them and Te Pāti Māori. Fucking hell, we are underpaying those ones on that side. That's for sure. So we need to do whatever we can. Like, you know, I'm a person who stays up all night. I don't walk much. There's nighttime stuff I can do. You know, there's stuff you can do from home, even just having conversations or sharing stuff on social media. All of those things are being active. And I think that's what we really need to start fucking doing.